has the internship done remotely and not in an office? For multiple reasons. It allows us to pick our best person for knowledge sharing, for leading projects, for running the internship and things like that. Also, these days, it's just a part of the modern world that a lot of people need to be able to do things remotely with everything that's happening. And having experience in the remote work is a definite plus these days for a lot of employers. Many tech companies are going either fully remote or at least partly remote. So really quite beneficial to have that experience. We also decided to go remote internship because we found that in the past, when we were running the internships in different offices and things like that, there was some variance in terms of the experience for people. You didn't always necessarily have the same experience when it came to projects, the things that you learned, knowledge sharing and things like that. And we really wanted to make sure that it was a much more consistent, much higher quality. So we found that by going for it being done remotely, we can have everyone jumping in the same session. When it comes to knowledge sharing, getting involved in the same projects, going through the same streamlined and consistent process so you always learn what you need to know when you get into the workplace. And also we found that for a lot of interns, it really suits them, that flexibility. When we were in the past, we had the option of doing in office and remote. That was quite a few years ago now. We found that most people, after coming in for about a week, basically they didn't come in anymore. They found that it was just so much easier for them and so much more flexible to be able to do things remotely, that the majority of people ended up just picking that anyway, and we would only ever have a few interns in the office without really much difference really, because most of the time you'd be jumping on your laptop to do any of the meetings regardless. So we felt it was best to just put all of our attention into doing the remote internship as best as we could. There are many benefits of running the internship remotely. For example, the schedule is a lot more flexible. You can pick the hours and times when you start and when you stop. We do recommend a minimum of about 15 hours though. But if you want to work weekends, mornings, evenings, after the kids have gone to sleep or anything like that, having it done remotely really gives you that flexibility. You will be using pretty much the same infrastructure that we already have in place for ourselves, for our team. So yeah, pretty much you'll be able to get support and be able to do all your work and everything whichever time of day that suits you. It also allows us to have kind of the best people to cover any particular parts of the internship. It allows everyone to work on the same projects. It allows you to get a lot more experience in these different areas. And we really feel that improves the quality of the process and the knowledge sharing and everything. So I think those are some of the benefits of doing it remotely. Do people get the same experience remotely as in an office? The work experience is fundamentally the same. Everyone gets meaningful commercial experience, learning everything that is expected of you by employers and things like that. You will be still facing challenges when it comes to your tasks, when it comes to technical things. You will still need to learn the processes and how do you solve things for yourself. Problem-solving skills, how the different tools applied from start to finish in your role and such, experience and agile methodology, getting involved in scrum meetings, applying your technical skills on projects, handling deadlines, and all sorts of different things like that. And all those things are what employers are after. It's mostly the same. You'll be using the same infrastructure our team uses. Since MVP Studio is a global company, we need to be able to support our team across different time zones, across different regions and things like that. So that means that we have our own internal infrastructure to support this. So for example, that's using Zoom meetings. If any of the meetings, they are recorded if anyone can attend live, using things like Slack for communication, and even our own custom software solution to be able to handle things like giving it the task details, tracking progress, giving feedback and reviews and things like that, and really just going through the whole process. So everything you need to know in terms of information for the tasks and such, you'll be able to access it all using that kind of infrastructure, receive the feedback you need and so on. It depends. Typically, you'll have about 2 mentors during the first stages of the internship. It can vary a little bit from time to time. Later on, if you decide to go a bit further with the internship, you will most likely have maybe one or two, or potentially even more mentors at that stage as well. But I think it's pretty much safe to say that you'll have at least about two, potentially three mentors during your time during the internship. In any case, you will always have one that you will be able to contact at any particular time to get support if you get stuck on anything. So we have a support process in place that everyone should follow when you get into the internship. It's something that you'll be kind of introduced to when you get into the onboarding and things like that. So following the process, there's kind of like multiple steps. One of the first ones will be going to our internal question and answer system, which already has thousands of questions and answers on there. It has a pretty active community in terms of past interns, current interns, tech experts, and even senior MVP Studio staff when their schedule permits them some time to be able to get involved in that. But yeah, it's definitely one of the first places that you should check out if you have any kind of technical issues related to your task, like you're not sure how to approach a technical problem or something. If you still can't find your answers with that, then of course you can talk to your mentor. You can also definitely join in with a tech chit chat session that happens each week. That's one of those opportunities where the senior MVP Studio staff will allocate a bit of their time to do some knowledge sharing, to do a bit of guidance and things like that. It's another opportunity for you to get some support if you need anything. If your issues still aren't resolved at that stage, or maybe they're related to something other than your task as such, more like the internship, for example, you'll be able to create a ticket so that MVP Studio support will be able to kind of assist you and be able to take care of those issues for you. But there are quite a few different ways that you can get support during the internship. During the internship, you will have a set of KPIs that you need to meet. They cover multiple different aspects during the internship, things like attending meetings, your attendance, your Scrum updates that you provide, the internship tasks that you complete, kind of multiple different aspects in terms of determining kind of like your qualities and your skills and your commitment during the internship. So once you've kind of met all of those KPIs, the system will do some final checks, and then you will receive your reference letter. So that's just kind of like a reference letter that you can use when you're applying for different roles and things. But quite often you need also kind of like a verbal or written reference from one of the team. At that stage, you'll want to make contact with your regional lead. When you get into the onboarding for the internship, they will indicate who the different regional leads are. If you happen to forget or anything like that, you'll be able to contact the MVP Studio support team. They'll be able to guide you to who that is, and they will guide you through that process for getting that verbal or written reference if you need it. During the internship, there's quite a few extra services and things like that that you can get. So for example, there are different sessions run each week that cover things like using English in a professional setting, how to write your cover letter, how to write your email, structuring or writing your resume, and how to best present your experience and things like that, answering interview questions, improving your mindset or how you view things and how you approach problems, public speaking practice, and technical knowledge sharing. Other things that are quite useful as well during the whole thing is that there is a CV review service. So pretty much you can put your CV in there, and one of the team, when they get an opportunity, they will check it, provide you feedback on things that you could improve. That's done on the internship portal that you'll have access to. There is also support for interviews and things like that, in terms of like potentially some practice with interviews or giving you some support tips and recommendations on how you can do that. There's also a monthly session that is run that covers things like answering technical tests and things like that. And if there's kind of like recommendations and tips and advice on how to have a better time of answering different tests and questions. All of the projects in development by MVP Studio are commercial. So we have quite a few different ones in development. Some of the bigger and older ones that we've already got established have customers all around the world. Others are smaller, only just getting started, still needing to be built out further. But yeah, when you get into the internship, you will be working on at least one of those. It really depends on timing and how big the team is at that time when you join in. But either way, you will be getting involved in one of those projects. It is commercial. It's meant to be out there and be successful. successful, you will be applying your skills in that way that is necessary, and it's going to be the necessary and useful commercial experience that you need.